Moving over to a sport that I probably know the least in, but luckily I'm in good hands here to talk to, and that will be esports, CSGO, with Adam Boothe. I am learning on the job, so to speak. Can we pull up Adam, please? There he is.
Hey.
Hello. Flash did such a better job on this one, I think. I was watching him with the esports. I think he knows more, like, because he obviously is an old gamer, so he just needs to basically just come up to,
Refresh, yeah.
right. Right, and I think
Yeah.
afterwards, I think I even said, I'm like, and I said, God, you obviously, really know. He goes, oh, don't get me into another sport that, I think he bets on a few of them. So he's like, but I think he was tempted though. I think
Well,
it
you
was
know what?
something,
It's funny because he even said it. He was like, I actually, before we did the show, he said I didn't think I knew anything. And then when I started to realize what, he was reading my article, realized what you're actually betting on. He
yeah.
realized he was part of sort of the pioneer community of one particular game, 15 years ago when he was injured. And it's just funny because you sort of, I mean, that's how I got started. Like I played some video games that are now really big in esports, like Counter-Strike, CSGO, what we're talking about today. And there's a huge sort of group of my generation that's the case. They're like, oh yeah, I know that game from a decade ago when I was a kid and allowed to play video games, all day, every day. But Anyway, I was just going to say really quickly before we get started, a match is starting that we're about to talk about, but the play that I made was Vitality to win 2-0 against Furia. That is kicking off literally in the next 5 minutes, I believe. They're about to go live. So if people know what that is, it's Counter-Strike. The event is Dreamhack. You're looking for a 2-0 at plus odds. I got it 2.2 at Pinnacle, but I believe it's like 2.0, 2.1 at like Bet365 and Bookmaker and all those places. So hop on it if you are an esports person or would just like
Or
some
not, or just
action.
well, like I said, you're in good hands. So jump on it, have a little bit of fun. All right. So just to recap, what's the bet again?
Vitality to win 2-0. It's like two sets to zero, basically, like you would in tennis. So they win the first two maps
There you go. Jump
of
on
the
that one.
best of three.
Have a little fun. Dip your toes into esports betting. That's what we're here about, to broaden the horizon. All right, so we're talking about ESGO, and it's obviously Liquid now. I'm knowing their ones, but didn't they recently suffer a defeat? Will that knock their confidence? I know when we were talking, that's good for us who want to bet on Liquid because hopefully that's reflected in the price.
Exactly. Yeah. So last week, well, you tuned into the one last week. So Liquid and four other teams that were at a tournament over the weekend in LA all flew over for a tournament starting in Dallas on this past Tuesday. And so it was really great because we got a good look. I mean, I had Liquid to win that one outright, and they lost in the final to a team that is about to play right now, Vitality. And part of why I find value in Vitality right now is because of how good that they looked over, 5 or 6 maps last week. So with Liquid, right now they've secured a semifinal position in that will be on tomorrow. But they still don't look like the world beaters, the number 2 team that should justify their price every single game. So I've been trying to, I don't want to say fade, but definitely fade their price because I do think there is some upset potential against them. I do think they're capable of dropping maps and sort of, I mean, I took FaZe against them yesterday on one map, and FaZe rolled them really in the first half. It was like Liquid weren't even present. So Liquid is still the outright favorites. I checked the price this morning, and they should still be the favorites, but I think it's too low for anyone to take at this time.
All right. So out of Team Liquid and UNCE, who has
Ents.
the greatest chance of success?
I really like Ents. one, because the price is better. I talk about this, like I just beat on this all day. It's the thing I think about the most when I'm betting anything. So I think ENCE is very comparable to Liquid. I think they're capable of beating them in a best of three. They have done it. They did it at the major, which was sort of the biggest upset, you might say, of the year so far, because it's at a major in a quarterfinal, and they were significant underdogs. And after that victory, ENCE has sort of popped up on everybody's radar, and so I don't think ENCE will be a big dog against Liquid if they meet in the final, but I know that they'll be plus 2.0, 2.1 at least. And given that their T sides are better, I think they have better communication. Team play, I think they're the better team, even though they might not have more firepower than Liquid. And their stats were really good both last week at the LA tournament and this week in Dallas. So that said, Liquid, you could say maybe they were a bit embarrassed. I mean, this is sort of us projecting, is Liquid more motivated to win a tournament in the States because they're American? Do they feel like, they need redemption? These are the sort of narratives that cappers like to write. Sometimes athletes will come out and say these things so you can say, okay, well, that is the way they're thinking right now. But on a team of 5 in which it's not a really huge tournament in the overall scheme of things, I don't think we can sort of pretend to know the motivations of 5 different players or 10 different players.
Okay. So what sort of...
ENCE would be my play between the two of them if they meet in the final, to answer your question.
Okay. Yes, that was my question. Thank you. What else are you looking at? So do you think though it's Team Liquid and ENCE in the final?
So they both got buys from the group stage all the way to the semifinals. So one, if not both of them, should be in the final. Now, I think the way the bracket plays out, let me just double check it. The way the bracket plays out, Vitality win tonight, they play Liquid tomorrow, and ENCE will play the winner of G2 FaZe. I think ENCE is far superior than both G2 and FaZe at the moment. I think maybe they could take a map off ENCE, but I really see ENCE making it to the final. Liquid should still be favored against Vitality, but Vitality just defeated them in the grand finals a week ago. So again, that one, if Vitality beat Furia today, which they should, that one, it's closer. I think if I had a gun to my head, had to say who wins it, I'd probably still go Liquid, but Vitality's going to be the dog. I love betting underdogs, and so I will probably be on Vitality against Liquid if the price is right. But to answer your other question, what else am I liking at the moment? FaZe plays G2 tonight. G2 is a slight dog, 2.2. I think I saw at Pinnacle. G2 and FaZe are kind of mirror images of each other right now, but G2 has a bit more chemistry with these 5 players than FaZe does with their new in-game leader, Neo. And G2's T sides have also been better. Their CT sides have been better. Their map pool might be slightly better if they can lock down Train or Overpass or Inferno. These are all maps likely to come up. FaZe, I look at them and I think they probably play Mirage. They probably play Dust 2. But in a best of 3 series, I really like G2 as this is a real coin flip series, and but with G2 maybe with a slight edge. So maybe the coin flip is 52% heads in their favor. So I'm leaning G2. I haven't placed that one. It doesn't start for a few hours yet, but I'll look deeper into it and then tweet it out later tonight.
Yes, he will. And it's Lock E QWERTY.
That's right.
I'm going to type it in there because I don't know if you were saying Lock E QWERTY. There we go. So, give Adam a follow. All of our tips that come on, they are so great at posting their tips for us to follow. And, it's just about finding somebody good. He keeps track of his record and, give him a follow. Eric Kelly, who's going to be on in a second, is taking your Vitality play. Is it Vitality Play?
Well, he's got to. Yeah, he was telling me he's in our Discord that we started with the esports. Remember Quickscope that we were doing a bit last year? We still have the Discord server running. So Eric joined it and was telling us that he didn't have a good day of cricket today. So hopefully he's hopping on some of the other action we've got in that server. And CSGO is a great way to make up the difference from his earlier upsets. So.
Wonderful,
Absolutely.
wonderful stuff. And very quickly, talk about upsets. Obviously, Toronto Raptors beat Golden State Warriors. Do you follow that? That was and
Yeah.
we. Well, I
Canada's
had
going
Spread Astaire on. He said
crazy
that
right
pardon?
Well, your husband's Canadian, so you probably know that the nation's going wild. You know, the first victory in the championship, and it's the only team in Canada, so it's everyone's sort of rallied behind it. Drake's, on the sideline making a fool of himself and all that business. But I'm not a huge basketball guy. I do play it, or not play it, like bet it occasionally. But it definitely has the nation in a frenzy right now.
Yeah, I know quite a few people were on Golden State Warriors, but some of those sharps there were on Toronto Raptors. Anyway, I will say goodbye. Have a wonderful weekend. I will be seeing you and checking in with you next week. Thank you for those tips.